Madlozi yakhuluma nawe idlozi liyavuma.
Thokozani, Dimelang, Lisedi. Hello everyone and welcome to the one-on-one sessions with Coco Masore, and I'm your host, Coco M. Giving you guys tips, lessons and teachings on everything spirituality. Sorry, took that. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the four clairs. What the flow for the four clairs are psychic abilities and gifts and skills that people have. Whereas many psychics, many mediums, and many people that connect with the living and the dead happen to have one, two, or all these clairs together, meaning all these are things that they have to actually help them in terms of divination, prophesying, and connecting with the spiritual realm. Okay, so with these four clairs, there are clairvoyance, clairaudience, ClairSentient, and Claircognicence. I'm going to say it again. Clairvoyance is clear seeing, being able to see things. Okay, clairaudience is clear hearing, which is very much connected with Balozi's spirits and whatnot. ClairSentience is clear senses, sensing certain things, feeling certain things, and claircognizance is clear knowing, acquiring certain types of knowledge that you have no business acquiring. Okay, so everyone is born with the four clairs. However, some are powerful in one and weaker in the other. Okay, so we're all born this, because remember that at a young age, we are spiritual beings. We are people that connect with spirits and whatnot at a very young age. And the older we get, that is something that we lose over time. And this is why I said that when a person grows, the clear abilities are lost through certain things. So like you can lose them through programming, like we are programmed in a certain way. We watch movies, read books, watch series that actually program our minds in certain ways, and also through our studying or learnings in our growing up stages is that we get to learn certain things that actually sort of like disconnect us with the clairs that we are born with. Okay, number two, you lose touch with your inner child, because remember that when you grow up, certain people can experience certain types of trauma. Okay, and this trauma, what it does, it affects you emotionally. And when something affects you emotionally, it also goes on and affects you spiritually. Whereas you lose your inner child, and remember that inner child is the one that has the clairs. And once you lose or suppress the inner child, then these clear abilities are lost over time. Okay, number four, consuming fluorine. Okay, so fluorine is one thing that I believe we all know what it affects the third eye, it affects the chakras, it gives you an imbalance in your spiritual self. And once you consume a lot of it, then these clear abilities are lost over time because of the consumption of this particular mineral or element, or that. Bad diet. There are certain foods that we eat as people that actually affect us spiritually. I did make a video about certain food that we eat that are bad for us spiritually, and certain foods that some healers, or when you want to connect with your underground gang, or want to connect with the spirits, your spiritual guides and whatnot, you need to limit eating in order to be able to connect with them. So certain foods that we eat actually block, or rather they detach us from the clairs that we may be born with. Okay, number five, I said not grounding yourself. Grounding yourself is mainly connecting yourself with the soil, with the earth, because remember that spirituality is connected with the earth. And when you are not connected with the earth, then you tend to lose certain gifts that you are born with, or rather you suppress certain gifts that you are born with. Okay, and the last one is the environment where we live. The influences we get, the people we encounter, those things will also affect the clairs, would also make you suppress or rather lose the clairs that you are born with. But like I said, everyone is somewhat born with it. It's just that some people are more powerful with it, but that doesn't mean that everyone is a psychic. However, these five clairs are sort of like branches of being a psychic, whereas when you have them, they empower your psychic abilities. They help you connect with the spirits even more than you would without them, in a sense, when you are a born psychic and a born medium or a born divination person, in a sense. And I also noted that There are people that are still able to maintain their clairs even after having undergone through all those things that I spoke about, which actually affect your clairs. These are people that are born psychic, that are meant to be psychics. These people, yes, they can eat bad things and whatnot, but 1 or 2 clairs will still be very active because that is their their birthright, in a sense. That is what they're supposed to do in their life. That is what they were brought into this realm to actually do, into these dimensions to actually do. Okay, and they master them subconsciously without trying. These people are born psychics. Okay, I said that. So you master this class without even trying, whereas you could be very clairvoyant. You could be able to see certain things even though you're not mastering this entire clair. You're not doing anything to actually connect with your clairs, but you are able to see certain things because that is just how you are. You are subconsciously, or rather unconsciously, manifesting this gift that you are born with on a daily basis without you even being aware of it. Okay, and the abilities can be acquired through practice as well. So there are practices that a person can do in order to master, or rather strengthen or acquire this class again after having lost them over a long time and ages in your life. Okay, so we're gonna start with the clairvoyance. Okay, so this video is gonna be mainly talking about the clairvoyance, and in the next coming videos I'll be touching up on the clairaudience, ClairSentience, Claircognicence and whatnot in details and all that. So clairvoyance, I mentioned that it is clear seeing, being able to see things. Clairvoyance is the ability to see with your third eye. The third eye, remember, it is the spiritual eye. It is the forehead eye. This is the eye that you use whenever you are seeing things in the spiritual realm. Because the eyes that we have, they only see the physical. That is mainly it. We only see the physical with it. But after years of training, you can still see the spiritual with your naked eyes, but you need to have your third eye activated for that to happen. You are very powerful with visions and seeing things in your dreams. So with this third eye being open, or rather being very clairvoyant, you are able to have a lot of dreams, a lot of visions, and a lot of premonitions. So meaning that most of the things that you see will tend to happen. It is not similar to when you are called into the spiritual path of Ubawangaka, whereas you are able to see snakes, you're seeing snakes and rivers and dams in your dreams, things that actually give you signs that you have a spiritual gift. But rather, this ones is whereby you have strict premonitions, because there are people with spiritual gifts that do not specifically have dreams whereby they like you are told, okay, this particular thing is going to happen on this particular day, be aware of this particular thing. Some of them just need to connect with their ancestors through their bones, if they use bones, use their tarots, if they use tarots, in order to see those things. But with a person who's clairvoyant, you are able to see everything that is going to happen before it happens through your dreams, visions, and premonitions. Okay, you are able to see into the past and the present as well. So you're not only going to see the things that are going to happen, but you're also going to be able to see what happened in the past and what is happening in the present. So you're able to tap into all these 3 tenses, all these 3 places in the dimensions, whereas you are able to know what, okay, so like these people now, for example, you could be a clairvoyant person, whereas maybe you might have questions about certain things that happened when you were growing up, or certain things that happened before you were born with certain people in your family, maybe your ancestors, maybe your great-grandfather, and you will be able to tap into that reality, into that life, whereas you will see in details exactly what happened, the same way that you can tap into the present and see what is happening right now in your life and other people's lives as well. This is whereby you will be able to see, well, okay, I am being hacked by this particular person, I am going to be blocked by this particular person. You see, that is clairvoyance. Okay, another thing I noted is that you are able to see spirits, but this is where it gets a bit confusing, because clairvoyance is not mediumship. So with clairvoyance, you are able to see spirits, they just come to you, just see them in Jane. But with mediumship, you see spirits and you can call them. You can connect with spirits, you can communicate with them thoroughly and fluently with mediumship, whereas with clairvoyance, you just see them. You see spirits, you see entities, all those things, you are able to see them without even trying. You don't need to channel them, you don't need to call them, unlike mediumship, because with mediums, that thing you're the person needs to actually call upon a certain spirit 80% of the time in order to connect or communicate with that particular spirit, and that is something that you don't do as a clairvoyant person. Okay, number 4, I think it's number 4, I'm not sure right now. Okay, number 4, you are able to acquire information that is out of your reach, out of people's reach. So the information you acquire as a clairvoyant person is spiritual information. Okay, it's spiritual information, spiritual knowledge. This is something that has been lost after centuries and centuries of not practicing spirituality, and that's just facts, man. So clairvoyant people are able to get information, are able to get certain knowledge, or rather certain teachings that are spiritual, that have been lost over time, things that other people cannot do. It's like, for example, you're a clairvoyant sangoma, right? And as much as people say that we use this and this and that to cure this, you can be introduced to a whole new different spiritual practice that was practiced by your ancestors, by your spiritual guides, or you can be introduced to a whole new spiritual practice that hasn't been practiced before, and that is something, information that is given to you by the spirits, because of your clairvoyant gift, in a sense, you see lights, patterns, and codes with your eyes closed. So whenever you close your eyes, what happens that, because there are people who close their eyes and just see darkness, whereas other people with no light whatsoever, with the absence of light, will close their eyes in a dark room and see patterns, see certain lights, see certain spiritual codes, things that most people will not even make sense of. You'll see lights, you'll see codes, things that most people will not be able to make sense of. And yes, in the beginning, you will not be able to make sense of them, but as your gift manifests, you will be able to find the clear meaning or the clear interpretation of whatever it is that you are seeing in that particular moment with your eyes closed. And even as such, you can also even see spirits with your eyes closed, because you will be using your third eye in that particular moment, your spiritual eye in that particular moment. Okay, you have premonitions. Okay, I touched up on that. You have the ability to see non-physical beings. Okay, that is clearly the third eye. This is something you can do with your eyes closed and even with your eyes open. You see spirits, you see ghosts, you see loved ones, you see a lot of things, you see entities, you see animals that are not supposed to be seen with the naked eye. Okay, so that is you, like your clairvoyant gift working. You are able to see all these non-physical beings, all these spiritual beings without even trying. Okay, things that people will not be able to see, things that normal people will not be able to see. I'm not saying you're not normal, but you're just unique. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being unique. So you are able to see all these things, and you get a lot of deja vu, because like I said in the beginning, you have dreams and visions and premonitions of things, and most of the times we have those things, we see those things, but we don't really take them into consideration. We don't really put them to heart, put them to mind, and all that. We don't do that. So when these things happen, you're like, oh my gosh, I am having deja vu. It is not deja vu. You are just reliving whatever it is that you saw in your vision or premonition or dream, because your clairvoyant gift is acting. Okay, then a number something, you are able to see people's auras. Understand that everyone has an aura, depending on the kind of person they are, depending on the kind of personality you have, depending on the spiritual being you really are. Okay, you have different types of auras. Auras can come in different colors, and your aura can even tell you your life path. Okay, so auras are something that most people cannot see, but other people can see them, and these people are mostly clairvoyant. So these people are able to see different auras and can read a person using that specific aura that they see on you, in a sense, the energy, the aura. Aura is some sort of like energy, in a sense. It's spiritual energy, in a sense, that a person has. So these people can see that. So if you're a person and you find yourself just walking around and you tend to see like rays of light, and the lights are like different colors, some are like pure light, some are like blue, some are like red, some are like black, that is people's auras. And if you can see those, then you are clearly a clairvoyant person. Okay. Whew. You know everything about a person by just looking at them. So this is whereby you're very similar to a claircognizant person, ne? You look at a person, you're able to see a lot about them, ne? But as opposed to just seeing them and seeing what's happening in their lives, you are able to see what is happening in their spiritual life. That is the difference. You are able to see what is happening in a person's spiritual life as much as you can see what's happening in a person's physical life. So when you look at a person and like information, or rather knowledge about this person's life comes to you, you may be clairvoyant. Okay, the other thing is that you have the ability to tap into different realms and dimensions. So the best part about clairvoyance, I feel like, is this one, where you are able to tap into different dimensions, because this is something that not a lot of people can do. Okay, not a lot of people can actually tap into different dimensions. Most of the times when people do that, they need to meditate, they need to pray, they need to like go on a full-on connection with the spiritual realm. But with clairvoyant people, you don't need to do all that jazz, ne? You just have to be you, and you'll find yourself moving into different dimensions. You'll find yourself astral projecting, you'll find yourself etherically projecting, and all those kind of things. You'll find yourself visiting the first dimension, the second dimension, the fifth dimension, because right now we're in the third. I will make a video about dimensions very soon so you guys can understand what they are all about. But with a clairvoyant person, you can visit different dimensions, different realms, different universes, like multi-universes. Molor, you can visit a part of your an alternate universe where things are a lot different from how you expect or know them to be. In a sense, those things are real. It's one of the creepiest things ever, but it's real. And when you connect with a person, if you're not like fully clairvoyant, then when you connect with your ancestors on a regular basis and do certain practices to master your clairvoyant gift, you will end up actually mastering this entire thing, because there are people that actually travel to different universes, that travel to different planets spiritually. So because our physical bodies and our spiritual bodies are completely different, that's the thing about it. And when you have mastered your spiritual body, then you will be able to move and connect with different things, different places, and actually go to different universes altogether. So that is actually one of the coolest things that we humans can do. In a way, we are like superheroes. Okay. Let me stop being weird. You even see energy with your eyes. Okay, like I said, you see auras, but you can also see energy. Okay, you can see negative energy, you can see positive energy. As opposed to just feeling it, you are able to see it and distinguish as to whether this is the kind of energy that you want or not. Okay, another thing is that people are attracted to you. Okay, so I feel like this may be the hardest thing about being clairvoyant. At least personally, I'd feel that, because some of us don't really want people telling us their problems. But with clairvoyant people, you find yourself attracting a lot of people. A lot of people will come to you and tell you all their problems, their life journeys, their struggles, their achievements. Like, they'll just share all those things with you, even if this person is very low key, but they'll feel so comfortable and so attracted to you to an extent whereby they just want to tell you everything. They just want to give you the tea in everything in their life. So you attract people naturally, so without even trying, ne? You have a beautiful connection with animals and children, ne? So you can connect with animals because you don't really need to verbally speak to people or to animals or to the environment, but how do I put this? Spiritually communicate, ne? Mentally communicate with this thing. So you find yourself attracting animals, attracting children. They love you, they are always next to you. Find yourself having birds flying around you all the time. Whenever a dog passes by, the dog feels safe in your presence. They will come to you constantly and whatnot, because like I said, you communicate telepathically, not verbally. Okay, because verbal communication is cool, it's right, but it is not spiritual. So with clairvoyance, you telepathically communicate with the world around you and everything else in the spiritual realm. You connect with it telepathically, ne? You experience out of body you have outer body experiences. This is whereby you can actually visit different dimensions. I did talk about that. That is where you astral project, etherically project, and all these different kinds of like projecting. And the thing about it is that, yes, I talked about moving to different dimensions, but you can also project and move into this very dimension, this very realm that we are in currently. It's very simple for you to do. You can do it when you're sleeping, you can do it while you're awake. So these things have no limits to you. You don't need to sit down and meditate in order to be able to have an outer body experience as a person with clairvoyance, okay? And another thing, you also see shadow people, because remember that shadow people are actually spiritual beings. They're spiritual beings, and most people are not able to see shadow people, but there are a few number of people that can actually see those things, and they just see them. That is a clairvoyant gift in a sense. That is a clairvoyant gift. You are able to see shadow people on a regular basis, because I understand that shadow people are sort of like people that are in the second dimension as opposed to like the third dimension, because we see things 3D. You can see my left, my right, my up, my down, all those things, but with them you can only see them looking at one particular side in a sense. So shadow people are from the second dimension, so you are able to see things in the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth dimension. Okay, and last but not least, you get visited by lost loved ones and angels and spirits all the time. So when you are clairvoyant, or rather when you are gifted in a way, you attract spirits, you attract entities in a certain extent. That is why it's always important to like cleanse your aura. Make sure that even though you attract a lot of spirits, the ones that will be able to come to you are gonna be the good ones. So loved ones will visit you, give you information, they'll come in your dreams, you'll see them physically and all that. Because you know, one thing I like, there are some healers, okay, not all of us can do that, but which is actually pretty cool for the ones that can actually do that. You'll be consulting someone, the person will be like, I'm seeing so and so in your family, I'm seeing a specific grandmother, I'm seeing a grandfather, I'm seeing your brother, like the brother that you lost or the sister that you lost. That is actually a very beautiful thing to do. It's a very beautiful gift. So clairvoyant people are able to see lost loved ones, they're able to see spirits, they're able to see ghosts, you know, all this spiritual entities, spiritual creatures, things that are not in our dimensions, things that we cannot see with our two eyes, they are able to see it. Okay, so that is it on clairvoyance. I hope you guys actually understand the gift, understand what it is, and understand how it works. And oh, lastly, if you want to like master your clairvoyant gift, usually tap your forehead, or like just press it for a while, or just rub it around while you close your eyes and visualize certain things. That actually helps strengthen a clairvoyant gift, and also helps with the third eye as well, because if you are able to tap into your third eye, then you are gonna be clairvoyant. Okay, anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned a lot from it. Have a beautiful one. Thokozani. Bye bye. Madlozi yakhuluma nawe, idlozi liyabuma.